You coming out? What are you doing? All we're supposed to be doing is me and Mark coming out of the bloody boat. What are you doing? Mark walking across one plank.
Watch.
Fall in, please fall in.
Wobbly. See the big expanse of...
You can step over that.
I do, yeah, but it's a big drop, isn't it? Right, right. So 2 planks.
Come on then. What are you doing?
Hello.
2, 1. Start again.
Some of us ended up with Ted Rogers and others ended up with Dusty Bin. Right.
It's going to be a long day.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's do that again. That stupid face. Hello.
I'm still pulling the face.
Yeah.
Right. Stop shouting at them.
Hello. Sod off. Just say hello.
Right.
Hello.
Hi.
Howdy.
Bonjour.
No.
Stumped.
Bon Matin.
Right, anyhow.
Yeah.
Eric's snoring.
He is, yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
We've had, well, we haven't been able to move at the moment because the weather is atrocious. So we have been in the same place for about 8, 9 days?
No, we're coming up. I think we're coming up on Tuesday to our 14 days. But we'd wanted to go, but we couldn't because the wind's just been atrocious.
We've had 50-something mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
Haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, 50-mile-an-hour winds. We're in the grip of, I think it's Storm Gareth. We've had about 4 storms in a row, and it just seems to be we've been trapped in wind for the last, 10 days?
Yeah.
Trapped wind! Trapped wind! That's what it is. Yeah, it's trapped wind.
Shut up. We've had, I mean, in February, we had the snow, where we had, 24 inches of snow.
That was bitterly cold, wasn't it?
That
yeah.
was so cold.
Ooh.
And then, when was it? Only a couple of weeks ago, it was up in the 20s.
Yeah, such blazing
people
sunshine.
People were in shorts, people were in t-shirts. We were on
Some
the
people
back
were
of
in shorts and t-shirts.
We were on the back of the boats, having a lovely cruise, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
Because it was really nice weather.
Yeah.
And then we've had torrential rain where the towpath has been so muddy.
Yeah, I think we filmed that in the last video. You saw that.
Yeah. Horrendous. It's got worse because we've had a lot more rain since then.
Yeah, an awful lot more.
And now we've got the wind.
The wind has come and it's been trapped for... The wind has come. The wind is here and it's been here for 10 days, probably, solidly. So, yeah, it's been an interesting... season of weather. You could say we've had 4 seasons in 28 days.
We're staying put for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then we're going to make our move through the tunnel.
Yeah, the Bruce Tunnel.
The Bruce Tunnel.
Looking forward to that a lot, aren't we? So yeah, and what about our cruising plan?
Cruising plan. We've met up with a load of friends who are all heading off the Kennet and Avon Canal, and I think we're going to join them, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
So we'll show you in a minute the
map. Should we show them now? Well, hold on.
Sure. Get my chopstick out.
Use the chopstick pointer. So you join us in the map room. This is the operational section.
The kitchen.
The kitchen, or as boaters would call it, the galley.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes.
So this is the Kennet and Avon Canal along here.
Where are we at the moment?
Well, we started here in Devizes, going
Yes.
up the Cane Hill flight. We've come along here and we're there. That doesn't seem like far away, does it?
But it's 28 miles from Bradford on Avon,
yeah,
isn't it?
so it's, you know, it's a good few miles. Anyhow, we can't go any further because the locks here were closed for winter stoppages. They're now open, so we can go through the Bruce Tunnel and up the locks, and we can go all the way along here, which is what we're going to do, out onto the Thames. We're going to go along the Thames, so past Windsor Castle, Hampton Court Palace, and then I think we're going to have a detour. We're going to go either, or down, maybe down both, down the Riverway and the Basingstoke Canal.
Although I think we can only get halfway along that because
Yeah.
the air draft is 6 foot, maximum air draft is 6 foot.
And we've got the solar panels on the top, so our air draft is 6 foot, but with the solar panels
Yeah.
we might be pushing it. But we'll have to see what the weather's like, what the water's like. After that we're going to go back here, back up onto the Thames, and then possibly then round here and then up the Grand Union Canal.
Excellent. So some proper serious travelling.
So some serious travelling this year.
Good. We've literally had a question from one of our viewers, but it's about 12 questions in one question. It's a guy called Niall Leeson, no relation to Liam, I'm assuming, and he's asked a whole load of stuff about life on wide beams, where we can go, etc. He said he's going to be based up in the Midlands, Rugby specifically. So what we thought we'd do is show you the map as we've drawn it, to show highlighted the canals that we can actually travel on, to give you an idea of where we can and where we can't go.
Okay, so we've highlighted this map so it shows you where all the wide beams can travel on. So these are all the areas, these are all wide beam canals that you can go on. The ones in blue, especially around sort of this area here, wide beams can't go on these at all, so you have to be in a narrowboat if you're going on there. And I know Niall is looking, he's thinking about Rugby, which is Rugby is there. So you've got a couple of decisions really to make if you're a wide beam. Whereabouts are you going to be? Are you going to be in the south, which is this bit here, or are you going to stick to the north? Obviously there's more canals in the north, but I know Rugby's right in the middle and the wide beams can't go between the two. We haven't travelled up this far yet, have we? So we don't know what the canals are like in that area, but we are going to be doing this stretch this year. So yeah, biggest decision is to decide, are you going to stay in the north or are you going to stay in the south?
So what we thought we'd do is we'd answer his questions, I suppose one by one.
Yeah, because I think it's going to interest a lot of people as well.
Yeah,
so,
and it also,
if you're new and you're just starting out on a wide beam boat, or deciding what kind of boat you're going to go for.
and even I suppose if you're on a narrowboat too, because
Yeah.
he's asked us for some hints and tips, which we'll give you at the end, of things that we've learned. Not that we're experts by any stretch of the imagination, as you've probably seen from the start of this video. We're just a couple of clowns, really. But
It's just things we picked up over the last year, really, isn't it?
yeah, stuff that
Year and
we've
a
learned
half.
to make our life easier, so that we can perhaps pass on some of those tips to somebody that is specifically asking. Okay, so one of the questions that Niall was asking was about internet connection. I'll put a link to one of our previous videos. We did mention about our internet connection, but he's asked which ones providers have the best connections. We only have experience of Vodafone, don't we?
We do. And I suppose it depends in what area you are. It depends on whether you've got good connection. I mean, Vodafone for us has been really good on the Kennet and Avon.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it will be in other places, and other people have 3 and
Yeah,
EE, don't they? So I think to check out
where you're going to be living, where you're going to be based.
Yeah, and I think you found a website, didn't you? It was called signalchecker.co.uk, and obviously you just go on there, you type in your postcode, where you are, the nearest postcode to where you are, and it'll tell you what the internet connections are like for each provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be a good way of checking whether you're going to get decent signal there. But the trouble is you commit to a provider or to a package, and then you move around. So unfortunately, because you're moving around, you are going to have areas where that provider might not have great signal. It's just a fact of life, I'm afraid.
I think if there's a couple of you living in the boat, it would be a good idea to have different providers. And then hopefully, if one of the phones isn't working, at least you might have the other one that's got a signal.
Okay, so he's also asked about the limits where we can go. So we've shown you that on the map. But he also asks whether it's difficult to manoeuvre a wide beam boat. I don't think it is. I think it's one of those things where you get used to it. It's just, in essence, it moves the same way as a narrowboat does, except it just doesn't move around as much. Certainly easier to manoeuvre in locks. It turns easily enough. Mooring up is fine. Our draft is only 2 foot, so we haven't got a massive draft on this boat.
We've got a tiller, haven't we?
Yeah.
And some wide beams have steering wheels.
They do, yeah. I mean,
we hear lots of conflicting things. I mean, a friend of ours has got a steering wheel and she doesn't like it at all, does she?
Yeah. I mean, I prefer a tiller because it's more responsive. Literally, you move the tiller that way or that way, and the boat will move. It could be a fraction of a little turn, and the boat will respond. With the steering wheel, I'm told there's a delay, so it's not like driving a car. There's a slight delay as to when you turn the wheel, and of course, the danger then is to overcompensate because you don't think the boat's moving, so you oversteer, which means you end up snaking down the canal. And he also asks us about the stigma of owning a wide beam. I've never been stigmatised before.
I think there are good and bad in all boaters, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think as long as you stick to the wide canals, there are narrow canals. There are some wide beamers that do go on the narrow canals, but they shouldn't be.
No.
And that would obviously give them a bad name. So I think just as long as you're friendly and happy to all boaters out
help
there,
everybody out as well.
Yeah.
When we're going down the locks,
holiday makers as well, because they're all there to enjoy the water, aren't they?
I think you just got to be nice to everybody. That's the way it is. He's also asked if there's anything that's drastically different from a house to boat life that took us by surprise.
Well, unless you're in a marina, you're not going to be plugged into power. You're not going to be plugged into water. So you have to decide how far you go. And I know that we're doing a stretch, and there's about 14 miles of no water and no facilities. So we really need to be planning ahead on how long we stop at and where we're stopping.
That's the difference. You just hit it on the head. It's planning ahead.
Yeah.
You have to plan for everything. You have to plan where you're stopping. You have to plan where
your car's going to be.
Yeah, where your car's going to be. You have to plan about your gas usage, your water usage. Even down to little things like we said we talk about the downsides. So here's a downside. Back on land, we used to put the washing machine on every day, every other day. It was just one of those things. You just stuck the washing machine on. Now we absolutely stink. We don't really. Just Julie. So, but what we do now is we put the washing machine on when we know we're going to cruise, or when we know we've got we're approaching a water tap or we're close to a water tap. So you just have to plan ahead. That's the difference. You can't treat it as land living. You have to treat it as like land living, but with some inconveniences.
Yeah. Things are a little bit further away.
They are.
Like toilets, emptying toilets,
Yeah.
That's where our tip of the trolley comes in handy.
The next question he's asked is, are you ever worried about thieves, especially with the doors open in the summertime?
I've never been in a place where we've not felt secure.
Yeah.
All the canals have their own Facebook page, and you do go on the Facebook page and you do notice people will say they've had their generator stolen or they've had this stolen.
Yeah.
But it's very, very good. The community is very good at keeping everyone updated and saying, watch out for these guys coming along. But we've never experienced that, have we? Touch wood.
No.
The thing to do is if you're in a house, would you put a generator outside your front door and not expect to get it pinched?
Yeah.
So make sure everything is secure.
Mhm.
If you don't want it stolen, secure it.
We've never had any reason to feel under threat, to feel that we're scared, to feel that we're going to get we're vulnerable and we're going to get attacked or anything like that, or that there's any type of crime. However, we are going to do a video because we do think it's prudent to take precautions. Just because we haven't been a victim of crime yet doesn't mean that we're not going to be. And I think, as in all things, you can be prepared for these things. So we've bought some video cameras, and they're HD quality with night vision, and they're relatively cheap from a very well-known online retailer. So what we're going to do in a coming video is we're going to do an unboxing video of the video cameras, and then we're going to show you them set up.
Yeah.
Completely.
I think the other thing to do is to try and get to know the local boaters. Try and make friends as much as you can. You'll be surprised how easy it is to make friends with other boaters, isn't it?
Okay, his next question is about being a car owner and a boat owner, which we have answered in a previous vlog, and we'll put a link to that. But put it quite simply, if we move the car's here and the boat's here, if we move the boat 4 miles, we park the boat up, moor it, come off the boat, walk back to the car, get in the car, drive the car to the boat. That's it in a nutshell. So wherever we move the boat, we move the car. We have to make sure we look for moorings where there are parking spaces, and we have to make sure we look for moorings where it's convenient for us.
It just takes a little bit of planning, and I mean, this morning we had a wander up to Crofton to see exactly that, to see how far can we park the car, where can we moor the boat. So it just takes a little bit of forward planning and looking ahead.
It does.
So next question was, how often do you need to refill everything?
Got about 1,000 litres of water. The tank itself holds about 900 litres, and we've got 2 water butts which we use for just sort of domestic stuff like it might be cleaning, watering plants,
like
filling up the cassette loo.
Oh.
There's also the gas. Yeah, it's a 32 kilogram gas canister, and it lasts us about 3 months. So they cost about £30 on average. 28 to 35 is the price that I've seen. The fuel tank is 95 gallons. So that, you never let that run out. That's just one of the things you never do, because that will ruin your engine if you suck up the dregs from the bottom of that tank. And also, in the winter time, you need to keep your engine, your fuel tank topped up, because you don't want to get diesel bug, which is where moisture gets in, and then it creates a reaction which then causes a kind of bacterial growth, which then loops up your diesel, and then it ruins your engine basically. So, and Niall's final question within the question is about tips and tricks. We don't want to bore you with 101 tips and tricks, but it's just stuff that we found useful for us.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one is because of the canal we're on. Is you need to get yourself a long plank. You need 8 foot, you need 10 foot, you need 11 foot in some cases.
If you're coming to the Kennet and Avon, you need a long plank.
Second thing is get 2 plank. We've got 2 planks, primarily because our dog doesn't like using 1 plank.
He falls in.
He falls in. So we got 2 planks, but actually it's one of the best things we've done, because it just it doubles the width, and it means that when Julie is completely sloshed, which is probably I'd say you're drunk 5 times?
Oh really?
Out of 6 or 7.
Don't believe anything
so
you hear.
When Julie is smashed, then it makes it easier for her to get off the boat when she needs to go to the off licence to buy some more
with
cheap
shopping
wine.
and things like that. It's really, really handy to have 2 planks. Another tip is to invest in a trolley or a wheelbarrow, because you're not always very close to your car, and you need to get your shopping onto the boat. Showing everyone our wonderful snazzy old trolley.
Sorry, there's not really any boaty themes in this one, but we've not been able to move anywhere because of the weather. Thank you for watching.
Yeah, see you next week.
See you next week. What are you supposed to say? Click there and do that?
Oh yeah. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe. It'd be lovely to have you come along. And if you want to be notified of when our next video is coming out, if you click the little bell, and that will give you the notifications.
Perfect.